Today we're going to be building a highly available managed instance group with failure. Now, the following technologies we're going to be using and building is first of all, we're going to be creating an instance template. We're also going to be creating a health check and of course also a managed instance group, which is called a MIG. We're also going to create a firewall rule and also a load balancer to distribute the traffic between the instances. So the first step, what we're going to do is we're going to create an instance template. So we're going to go to Compute Engine, Instance Templates. Let me just move this here. And let me remove this one as well and start from 0. Okay. Great. So first of all, we're going to click on Create an Instance Template. I don't have, by the way, I don't have my camera on since I'm with mobile service right now. So if not, it's going to be like very slow. So the first thing is we're gonna name it, for example, front end test template. There you go. Leave everything as default, just regional or global if you want to make it more available, with higher availability and also lower latency. But I will say just for now to practice regional is good. Everything else leave as default. Two more things. What we're going to do here is advanced options. And here in networking, we're going to add the tag static IP. Okay. And here in management, we're going to add up a startup script, which is going to be a very simple HTML hello world file. Let me just show it to you here really quick. There you go. Which is first of all update, also install Apache 2, and create an index HTML file with the HTML code that says, well, my front end app and hello world. And that's pretty much it. So we're going to click on create. It's going to be very fast. And that's it. So the second step, what we're going to do right now is we're going to create a MIG, or a managed instance group. Pretty much a managed instance group is a group of lots of instances which you can configure, and it also has autoscaling, right? If you have lots of traffic, it will scale up the instances you need to handle that specific traffic so your instance doesn't get overloaded. So we're just going to call it instance group test as well. Here we're going to select the instance template we just created, front end test template. Here again, location, we can choose single zone, just one zone in one region, right? But for higher availability, you can also select multiple zones. Of course, it's going to be a little bit more expensive, so think about your budget for this. But again, for this learning project, we're just going to select a single zone. Autoscaling, this is the good part of the MIG. So here you have to put maximum number of instances 3. If not, it will give you an error and say you exceeded your quota, since the normal Google Cloud account has a limit of 3. So 1 to 3, right? Minimum 1, maximum 3. Also leave it on, add and remove instances to the group. And here we're going to create a health check. Pretty much a health check is, well, as the name says, a health check. It will send a check every 5 seconds or 10 seconds, depending on the interval you want. I'm going to put it to 10 seconds. And here just leave the name as, well, there you go, front end health check. As you can see, it's very slow, so I apologize for that. Again, just leave it here as global, everything else is default. And click on save. So the health check has been implemented and also done. So we're going to scroll down a little bit more, and that's pretty much it. So we're going to click on create. So the instance group right now is being created. And the next step, well, in the meantime, while this is deploying, we're going to go to firewall and create a firewall rule. So type in firewall and go to firewall here. Click on create a firewall rule. And here just name it test firewall rule. Okay. Here, leave everything as default. Just here, target tags, add static IP, the tag we use as well for to set up the network for the template. If you remember, here you're gonna put 0.0.0.0. Yeah, that's it. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Okay. That's pretty much the range. So it will cover all the ranges in IP addresses. Oh, here, activate TCP, and you're going to put port 80. Okay. And let me just double check everything is all right. The name, specific target tag, static IP, also the IP range, and the TCP port. That's pretty much it. So here we're going to click on create. And that's the firewall rule. That's done and done. Okay, so one more thing what we have to do here is a load balancer. And inside this load balancer, we're going to create the front end, the back end, and also reserve an external IP, a static IP address. So we're going to create the load balancer, just leave everything here as default, HTTP and HTTPS. Just click on configure right away. And we're going to start with the backend. And the backend, click on here and click on create a backend service. Let me just remove my face here. And here just call it backend or whatever you want to call it, backend service. Leave backend type as instance group, since here we're going to select our instance group. Now, as you can see, it's not showing up yet, which means that the instance group is still loading. So I'm going to open up a new tab so I don't have to close this one where I'm building the load balancer. So here we're going to go to compute engine and instance group. And we're just going to double check. Well, instance group test looks like it's up and running. Right, so for some reason it's weird, it's not showing up here. Let me see here. Let me just close this and create it. Let me just click again and see if it shows up. Instance group. It's weird. It's not showing up. Normally it has to show up. The instance group we created. Let me see here if I can just search for an instance group test. Okay. Well, anyways, let me just close this window and carry on a new one. So let's again go to load balancer, create load balancer, configure. Let me move my face here again. Well, let's name this, well, just load balancer test. Backend configuration, click on here, create backend service. Let me move my face again. Okay, let me see here, instance group. There you go, now it's showing up. So I just had to close it and reopen it. So let's just name it backend service. What else? Oh, port number, make sure to use port 80. And that's pretty much it. Very simple. And we're going to click on make sure all the fields are correct to continue. Let's see what's happening here. Probably, oh, the health check. We have to add up the health check, the one we created as well, front-end health check, right? And again, something is missing. Let's see what's happening here. Probably something in security, I think. Yeah, here. There you go. Servers, name is already in use. Okay, let's just add a 2 to it. This will happen. There you go. Okay. Gonna click on OK. All right, so the backend is done. Here we're gonna create the front end test. Just leave everything as default, HTTP. Now here in IP address, we're gonna create or reserve the external static IP address. So you're gonna click on create IP address, and here just put static IP address or whatever you want to call it. Whoops, address, there you go, reserve. Okay, so pretty much what a static IP does is it will give you an IP address that will always remain the same. If you do not reserve an external static IP address and you stop an instance and you reopen a new instance, then it will change to a new IP address. So you're gonna need a static IP address, pretty much. Done. Okay. And that's pretty much it. So we're gonna click on create. So load balancer is pretty much deploying right now. We're gonna wait for that. So in the meantime, we're also gonna go to IP addresses and see if the one we reserved is here. There you go. Static IP address, external type, static, right? Here it says in use by none, since it hasn't been integrated in the load balancer yet, so we have to wait for it. The load balancer is still loading, as you can see, right? It says known because the load balancer is not ready yet. Here, it's still loading. So when this is deployed and the load balancer is up and running, then here in IP address, it will say forwarding rule front end. Here, right here, let me show it to you. Here and use by, but it's not, let me refresh. Again, it is very slow right now. I'm with mobile service. So let's just give it a few seconds. Well, in the meantime, what we can do is we can check our instance group and see if everything is up and running. As you can see, instance group is ready. Let's click on it. And here, so we have one instance running. So this is pretty much this is the IP address. It should say hello world. There you go, my front end ab hello world. So, but if I stop this or delete this instance and open up a new one, then this external IP will be changed. So that's why we have the static IP address, right? So, but again, I'm just waiting for the load balancer to be ready. Okay, looks like it's ready here, as you can see. All backend services are healthy, which is good. So load balancer is good to go. Now, if we go to IP addresses, here, static IP address in use by forwarding rule front end test, which is our front end load balancer. Now, this is your static or your external static IP address. Now, if I go to your static IP address, this will probably take a few seconds. Well, not a few seconds, probably like 30 seconds to 1 minute. And it has to show the same thing, hello world. But this will show up later on. So in the meantime, we keep it open, right? This is our static IP address. So in the meantime, we're going to go back to our instance group just to kill some time and give it a few more minutes or a few seconds to for the load balancer to connect to the instance group. All right, so let me just explain a little bit more about the instance group here, the good things, the benefits. And for example, what an instance group does, for example, if I click on here and I delete, well, I can show it to you right now. If I click on delete, automatically it will create a new instance right away. So your server, will not fall. This is called pretty much failover, right? So let me just double check and see if the static IP address is already working. It's not working. Okay. Well, let's do something here. Let's delete this instance group here. So we're going to click on delete. And as you will see here, this virtual machine is being deleted and a new one will be created in a few seconds, right? So let's just give it, since it takes some time and my mobile service is pretty slow right now. Let me just refresh. Okay, there you go. So this virtual machine is being deleted and this one is being created. Well, it's being verified right now and just having some health checks as well. So let's just give it a few minutes. In the meantime, as you can see, probably, let me just refresh this. This was the previous instance, the one we just deleted. So it's loading. This is not working anymore, as you can see. It keeps loading. This is not working either since we do not have an instance up and running right now, right? This is our static IP address, by the way. So this one should always work with any instance. But we have to wait for one instance to be up and running right now. So let's just refresh. Okay, there you go. So one VM, this one is being deleted, as you can see, the one we just deleted, and one VM is was just created 1 minute ago, as you can see here, 2:45, and it's 2:47. So this one was created. Let me see if this already works. Static IP is not working yet. So let's do something. I'm gonna pause this video, give it like 30 seconds, 1 minute for this IP address to work, since it should work. And hold on, let me just try one more thing here. IP address. This is the IP address, right? Just make sure I have the right one. Okay, let me just try incognito mode, making sure. Okay. Wait, what? But not sure if it was working. It was loading. Not still not. Okay, let me just give it 30 seconds. I'll pause the video and come back ASAP. And we're back. So pretty much after like 1 minute, it was working, right? As you can see, I just reloaded. It says hello world. This is our static IP address. And this is the new instance. The new instance we just created, or it just created automatically, right? So as we go here, it should give the same thing. There you go. So as you can see, two different IPs. This is our static IP, the one that would never change, even though we if it creates new instances, and the instance IP address, which belongs to the instance. If the instance is closed, then the IP is removed, pretty much, right? And yeah, it's pretty complicated, so you have to read it a few times to understand. And this one is the same one that was being deleted a few minutes ago. So what we're going to do right now is for our application to be available always, we can change this. You go to edit, right, in edit instance group test, and here you're going to put 2 in minimum number of instances. So, and you click on save. So what happens now is it will have 2 instances up and running, right? So let's just wait for it so I can show it to you a little bit better. Again, it's taking some time, a lot of time, too much time. Okay, so pretty much right now, or in a few seconds, it will create a second instance as well. So it will always have 2 instances up and running. Okay, right now we just have 1, right? Let me just refresh. Since the second instance should be created very soon. It's incredible slow right now. Okay, there you go. Second one is being created right now. So we have two instances running very soon. So if one um, fails due to health, right, then one is up and running already. So your application will not fall or fail, right? So if you have lots of users, it's always good to have like a backup instance group. Now, if you just have one instance running and that instance turns off due to health issues, then you have to wait like 2 or 3 minutes for a new instance to be created. And this doesn't work out if your application has millions of users, of course, right? Since they will close the application and go to your competitors. But if you just have like a few users or a landing page or whatever, right, then one instance is perfectly fine, of course. So there you go. Here you have two instances up and running. Again, if I stop one or delete one, a new one will be created since now it will have two running. That's the minimum. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. Here's the application. Well, very simple. Hello world, and it's a good lesson to learn as a beginner how instances work in a group, since it's very important with high availability, auto scaling, and making your application very reliable. Right? Thank you.